Hey, I'm Adam Jusko from ProudMoney.com, and in this video we are going to look at the best first credit cards, the starter cards or beginner cards for people that do not have a credit history. But before we do that, I'm going to ask you to please subscribe to this YouTube channel if you have not already, and if you have already, I thank you for doing so. So we're going to look at the best first credit cards for people that don't have a credit history. Now, even though you don't have a credit history, that doesn't necessarily mean that everybody is the same who doesn't have a credit history. Some people may be in school, some people may be out of school, some people may be older and have very high incomes, where younger people may have much lower incomes, so your situation could still be different than other people. So you have to kind of think about where you fit in as we go along talking about the different options. Now, if you've just turned 18, that probably means you're either in high school or you've just finished high school. I would tell you that you probably should not go after a credit card when you're in high school or when you have just finished high school until you either go to college or you have a full-time job that has a salary or an hourly wage that is going to make you attractive enough to credit card companies. Otherwise, you are going to be starting with sort of the bottom of the barrel in terms of credit cards that will accept you. Now, if you are out of high school and into college, college is the best time to get a credit card. It is a good time to get started with a credit card. Even if you rarely, if ever, use it, get it young, start a credit history. It is going to be the easiest time for you to get your first credit card. Now, yes, it is true, some people are not totally mature enough to handle their first credit card. So if that's you, maybe you shouldn't do it yet, and maybe you shouldn't be watching this video. But if you are mature enough to handle it, getting it in college is the way to start building your credit history young. And once you're out of college, even though it doesn't make a whole lot of sense, it actually can be tougher to get your first credit card. So the credit card companies really want to get you now, because when you are in college, they assume that you're probably going to graduate from college. They assume you are going to make more money. And if they can get in on the sort of ground floor with you as a person, they can either get your loyalty or hopefully you'll just get lazy and stick with whatever that first credit card is that you got. In terms of what credit cards I might suggest if you're a college student, the Bank of America Cash Rewards card for students is a good one. The Discover It card for students. I also like the Citi Rewards Plus card is good, and then there are other student cards as well. I think the key really is, again, get it while you're a student, because that is the way to sort of get started. It's going to be the easiest way into the credit card picture. If you are interested in getting there eventually, you might as well do it while you're in school. All right, if you didn't go to college, or maybe you are already out of college, you're going to have probably a little more difficult time getting that first credit card. But one of the factors in particular that is going to play a big role is going to be your income. So if you have a full-time job, if you have regular income, you're going to look better to a potential credit card issuer that is going to give you a card than if you have part-time work or if you have sporadic work that is not consistent. All right, now if you have a full-time job, you have some consistent income, there are probably two credit cards in particular that I would suggest you take a look at as your potential first credit card. Those are the Capital One Quicksilver card and the Discover It card. Both Capital One and Discover are known to be more open to people that do not have a credit history yet. The two cards that I'm talking about both have nice reward programs, so that makes them a good card to start with. No annual fee. You are going to get rewards on everything you purchase. So if you apply for one of these cards and you are approved, great, you are in. You have your first card and you are starting to build your credit history. Now, it's not always that simple. Sometimes you will apply for the Capital One Quicksilver or the Discover It card, and they may not approve you, but they might not totally disapprove you either, meaning that they might suggest another card of theirs that you potentially could get instead. So maybe instead of getting the Quicksilver card, maybe they give you the Quicksilver One card that has a $39 annual fee, and so then you'd have to think whether you want to pay an annual fee or not. On the Discover end, they might offer you the Discover Chrome card, or maybe either one of them would offer you their secured credit card that actually requires you to put a security deposit down to get it. Now, that's not necessarily a bad thing, and we'll talk about secured cards in a minute, but you want to make sure that you understand what you are being offered, because sometimes you will apply for a card, they will suggest something else, and you'll say, how did I end up getting the Capital One Platinum card with no rewards when I thought I was getting the Capital One Quicksilver card? So you want to make sure you understand what you're getting and make your decision decision on whether you want to have that card. Now, if you just want to build your credit history and you kind of don't care what that first card is, if they're going to approve you for something and it's unsecured credit and there's not any annual fee, well then maybe you are good with that. But if you don't want to pay an annual fee or you don't want a secured card, then you want to make sure you understand what you're getting. Now, if it's a no-go with Capital One and Discover, the next place I would tell you to look is the Petal credit card. The Petal credit card is from a smaller company. It is sort of a newer card within the last year or so. It is a card, though, that is built for people that don't have a credit history, and the terms on the card are actually pretty good for a card that is built for people with no credit history. So you have no annual fee. It does offer rewards, starts out with 1% cash back. If you make 12 payments in a row on time, which you should be able to do, your cash back will go up to 1.5%. So that is a pretty nice reward situation there. They seem to give credit lines a little bit higher than some other credit card companies. So you may be able to start out with a higher credit line than you might get elsewhere. And just overall, it seems like their terms are pretty good in comparison to other cards that you might get as your first credit card. Now, as a bit of a newer credit card, the Petal card does not have as much of a history. There aren't as many reviews of it from people that have actually had the card before, but by and large, from what I've seen, most people that have gotten the card feel like they have gotten what was promised, a decent no annual fee card that gave them a decent credit line to start, gave them the opportunity to start building their credit like any other credit card. There are going to be some negative reviews that you might see out there, but from what I have seen, at least, it seems like most people are satisfied. So those are my recommendations. If you're in college, go after one of the credit cards that is built just for college students. If you are out of college and you have a decent income, look at Capital One and look at Discover. If those don't work out, you should take a look at the Petal credit card. All right, now if you've struck out across the board with all those cards I've talked about, maybe your income is not high enough or consistent enough for the credit card companies to want to approve you, this is when you would start looking at a secured credit card. Now, a secured credit card works just like any other credit card, except you have to put a security deposit down in order to get it. So it's a refundable security deposit that you put down to say, I want this credit card. They're going to take that security deposit, kind of put it off to the side, give you a credit card. Usually that credit card is going to have a credit line that is the same as that deposit that you put down, but you're going to use that card like any other. You are going to pay it every month from funds different than what you put down in that security deposit. That security deposit just sits over there. It is not used to pay your bills. So use it just like any other credit card, and over time, assuming you make your payments, it should help you build a credit history, and eventually it should get you to a place where you can either be approved for a different unsecured credit card, or the bank may give you back your security deposit and let you continue to use that card now in an unsecured fashion without there being a deposit to back up anything. My very favorite secured card is the Discover It secured card for a number of reasons. Number one, it has some rewards attached to it. Number two, it has no annual fee, so you have to put down the security deposit, but you don't have to pay any annual fee in order to have the card. And number three, and maybe the most important for this video, is the fact that Discover is known to be kind of quick in terms of sort of moving you up or graduating you from this secured card to an unsecured card, meaning that in a fairly short period of time, if you are making all your payments on time, doing everything that you should, Discover is going to consider you for an unsecured card. So if you need to go the secured route, but you want to be getting an unsecured card, Discover is often the fastest way to get there. Another secured credit card that I like is the Bank of America secured card. Not nearly as interesting as the Discover It secured card, but it has no annual fee, and Bank of America does say on their website that they will be looking at your account over time to see if there's the possibility of returning your security deposit to you and letting you continue to use that card in an unsecured fashion. So, like I said, there's not really anything all that interesting going on with that card, but it is a way to potentially build credit, potentially get yourself to an unsecured card, and then, sort of use that as a stepping stone to better cards in the future. So that's it for this video. If you have any questions, please put them in the comments section below and I will try to answer them for you. If you're someone that has recently gotten your first credit card, maybe very recently or within the last couple of years, I would love it if you would put a comment telling me what that first credit card was, because I think it would also be interesting to other people that are going after their first credit card to see what actual cards people got approved for their first time out. Otherwise, I thank you for watching, and as always, please go to proudmoney.com where we do credit card reviews, personal finance news, we talk deals, and all sorts of other fun stuff too. Thanks for watching. Bye.